the snow's gone, it's warming up, so that must mean it's time for, yeah, it's also time for bugs. So I'm gonna go get some bug spray on, and then we're gonna get the camper uncovered, get the batteries back in, and get it ready, because in 2 weeks we're going for our first camping trip of the year. So while I'm going on and getting sprayed, go ahead and hit subscribe to the channel, and thanks for coming and checking out this one with us. Not going to fully see it, but during the winter I actually park the front end down some for runoff if for whatever reason there's moisture in there. So to lift the front end up to hook to the truck, I got to get the rear stabilizer jacks up, because if I go to lift the tongue up now, then these are going to push into the ground and be a good way to break the system. So this one came with electric ones. It's not something I ordered, it was just there. I kind of miss scissor jacks, because then you just hook up with your drill and they're down instantly. Because if you look at the pace these things are going, sometimes it takes a while. They're not really very powerful either. I know they say the scissor jacks aren't meant for lifting, but yeah, I mean, I would kind of lift my trailer up sometimes to really stabilize it. And these work. Every now and then I wish the trailer was more stable, and sometimes I'll go to extra efforts to make it stable. Part of that is if you look at the stabilizing bars as they come across, they're not that wide. It's not a very wide V. There's aftermarket ones you can get, and if these ever go out, I'll probably use the power connection, go to a different one, and those bars on some other ones are way out, and that kind of gives you a better rocking back and forth. So until these break, I'm keeping them, but when these go out, I don't think I'm going to put the same ones back on. And these are the Lippert, however you say it. Okay, I only have myself to blame for this, but one time when we were at a park unhooking, I didn't block the rear wheels good enough. I was lifting it up, and when it popped off the hitch, because we were on a little bit of a slant, the trailer went backwards, and it bent the bar on the stock. I can't think of the right name, power tongue, jack, whatever it is, and bent it. And so then we couldn't even get the trailer back down to hook up as a truck because we were trying to leave. I mean, we were taking everything we could. We're just slamming this to get it straight enough to go. So what I ended up doing is upgraded to, it's hard to see here, I got the Husky HB 4500, which is way more than I need for this trailer. But man, you can tell a difference. It's so quiet. And when it lifts, it doesn't hesitate or struggle with this camper at all. And it was really easy to put in. It's just one wire right there. You can see the power wire. So since power was already here, it was just one wire just to splice together. 3 bolts hold it in, and away you go. So it was kind of one of those things that broke, wish it hadn't broke, but I ended up with a better component because it did. So besides covering it in the winter, the other thing I do is I put in one of these damp rids. So after sitting here over the winter, this now weighs a couple pounds. It weighs nothing when we put it in, but the moisture line is, oh, what's that, about 3/4 of the container, and the bottom is just absolutely soaked in moisture. So for a few bucks to keep moisture and mold at bay, I think slapping one of those in anybody's trailer is worth it. And then the cover back inside the bag. For weight distribution hitch, I bought the Anderson unit, and it's really cool. So it comes with a 4-inch drop. Now I actually use this for hauling any other trailer because there's a anti-sway, kind of like a disc material in here, so that when the trailer's loaded, it puts pressure and it keeps your sway down. So I put it to the lowest 4-inch. However, Jayco does their trailers a little bit differently, so I have to raise it up when hauling the Jayco. So here's my dad's trailer, kind of as an example. So if you look at where the A-frame's mounted, I mean, his is a solid I-beam. Everything's fine. It welds to the bottom. On the Jayco, what they did is the A-frame passes through and actually welds into the frame. I don't have a way to show you, but as the A-frame comes through, it's not attaching at the bottom, it's attaching up in here. So what that does though is it puts the hitch mounting point higher than maybe some other trailers. So typically, if I'm remembering right, because it's been like 6 months since I hauled, take this, flip it over, and put it at the lowest point with this pointing up. So we're gonna try that. Okay, So I got that switched, and if you look, it's almost pretty much flat with the bumper. 150 foot-pounds of torque on this, so you got to squeeze it hard. It's basically pinching the metal up against this right here. Okay, so the other thing with this Anderson hitch is you don't want to drop the trailer all the way on it so that this is in the air before torquing down the system. So what I do is bring it down and put a little bit of weight. Okay, truck's starting to go. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring the weight down approximately to where the weight distribution hitch is going to stop it. You don't want to drop it all the way down and then try torquing up the weight distribution. So now what I'll do is I'll get the plate on, we'll tighten this up to the thread count I know, and then we'll lift this the rest of the way. Okay, so it's been a season since I've used it. Had to lift it all the way up before we tightened because this plate is not perpendicular to the trailer. The plate's crooked. So what I got to do is you could either back in or not. I'm just going to have my dad stand back here and watch. And so what I'll do is I'll pull forward, turning the wheel either left or right until that plate is perpendicular to the trailer. Once it's perpendicular to the trailer, then what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of weight off and tighten those up. Okay, not the best example because there's a dip right there, but we're hooked up, we're weighted down. Now I do use airbags on my truck. I've got the airbags at 25. I do 30 when we're fully loaded with all of our camping supplies. And down here, I use 4 exposed threads, empty, 5 loaded all the way. Funny little story with these washers here. These two chains, we couldn't get it dialed in right. One chain's longer than the other. Through a process of experimentations, adding washers, there's one more washer on the other side than there is on this side. When you have this system dialed in, it's awesome, it's amazing. But to be honest with you, to get it consistently working right, a little bit of a pain. I don't know that I would pick this system again. But those dampening bushings, so when you're going down the road and hitting bumps and bouncing, when these are dialed in right, man, they're awesome. They just make the ride so smooth. But if you're too tight, too loose, doesn't work as good. So kind of windy out, but we're home. You can see we're backing into the driveway. It goes downhill, so I got a pretty thick block down there. What is that, a 6x6 something? Anyway, so we've got that extended up. We're not quite level, but I don't really want to lift it more than that. And for the first time putting it back for the year, it only took me 2 times to get that shot pretty straight. Pretty happy about that. And I'm gonna put the bike rack back on. Wobbles some. Kind of wish it didn't wobble as much as it did, but it's padded up here. I wouldn't put really expensive bikes up there, but the kids' bikes go up there, and I mean, I haven't really seen anything but a couple of nicks and dings, no big deal. So we use that. Okay, and then here we are. At the camper, we got to go through, kind of get ready for camping season. This one is a Murphy bed model, which we love. This is 2017. Couch jacks knifes down, and the reason we got this one versus other Murphy beds for the time is that is a solid queen mattress under there. It is an RV queen. It's 4 inches short. I think it's 76 versus 80, maybe 74, but I think it's 76. And it's a solid mattress, which I like. Jayco, I think it was being bought out by Thor that did it, but the new ones fold in half. That's okay. And then the other thing we did when we got this is my wife didn't like the color pattern in here, so she got some pillows, and we pulled all these down and just, you know, changed the look of everything around and just spruced up. She gave it a little color, so-called. We got upgraded solid countertops, 2 double-wide bunk beds, bathroom with a side door, which we don't use a lot, but I do use it sometimes, especially if it's raining. It's a good time not to track through the place. Yeah, so this will be seen. I'm gonna share some videos. We're going camping here in 2 weeks up to Priest Lake, Idaho. So that'll be cool. And then I bought a cover for the roof, so I can leave the bathroom vent open. And then this stupid little thing. The concept's cool. So what it is, it runs off the 12 volt. It's supposed to suck the hot air out, and you open the windows. But this thing ain't that cute. And so what I'm gonna do is upgrade to a different one where the blades go all the way across basically, and I think I'm gonna get the one with the remote. So the nice thing on here though is, break the caulking seal up top, 4 screws, the wiring's already done, pop it in, and then I just gotta look up whatever type of caulk you use on the roof and just splatter the heck out of it. So yeah, that's it. Kind of cool to be back at it. I mean, it's something you miss during the winter, and then you're probably done with it come the end of summer. But we'll get 3 to 4 trips this year, I think. So yeah, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, hit the like button. Thanks for sticking around. And we'll just, you know, keep up the content. It's summertime, there's gonna be a lot of outdoor content, and then come November or so, I'm probably gonna be stuck indoors. So all right, thanks for checking it out.